Hey there. I don't really have very much to report, but often if I think something of interest is going to happen, I might record a segment that you eventually never get to see. So this is yet another one of those, and this has to do with something called a printer. Now, I don't have any printers, um, but there's a function you can call that will enumerate all of the printer ports on your system, and not having any printer ports or printers installed that I know of, so I expected no output. But instead I got, aside from this part, this. UTED. Now, this here is, I'm trying to figure out why it required so much space to print out 10. There are 10 things and they're all the same. SHRFAS, which means shared facts, apparently. Well, now this is to do with XP, but maybe it's the same with Vista. Shared facts is the name of the port assigned to Windows Fax. Windows Fax is blah blah blah. I don't know what the issue was. Fax wizard locks up. Okay, now what I just did now was the first part. There's no checkbox in Windows 7, but there's a view that you can bring up with using Control Panel. This. And there was something called a fax printer underneath here, and I removed it. Let me see if I can get it back. No. Oh. Local printer. I don't know how to get it back. Maybe it's it's probably in some. I haven't rebooted yet. See, I'm thinking that after I actually something was going to happen there. Thought I saw something appearing. Maybe. Oh. Okay. It didn't find anything. So I'm just thought I'd record this before I reboot. To prove to myself and to you or anyone else that it did indeed say that. Maybe I should save that string in case I never see it again. Well, the reason why I'm thinking about this is because our default program has printer saying on it. And by the way, I got the everything working for the saving, and that was really nothing to it. I just kept putting things on. Open and save any format. It's all working fine, perfect. In fact, it's probably faster than the regular notepad. Which one is this? Now this may seem slow, but it's running under the debugger, and that causes some slowdown. This one is in UTF-8. Yeah. So here, right, are these two things to do with printing, and Notepad knows. Oh no, it doesn't know. Some programs have these grayed out on my system, or had. Look at this. No, it's not. I thought I saw it grayed out before. I'm certain that it was grayed out. Something was grayed out. It was print, I'm sure of it. What program would it have been? What else can you print from? There's, what's that? Oh, I can use my new tool. I know there's some, not word, or not right, but something to do with some kind of pad. Oh wait, I need a star in front of that. No. What is that program called? Well, it may not be a program. It's probably like, launches a DLL or something. Notepad and WritePad or SuperPad or something, right? No, I know right. Right is this thing. There's another much better than right. Wait, this does look like it. But it's something pad. Maybe these are the same now. You see, this one uses a rich edit control, which is pretty much the same as what we're doing, except this one has more features. It has multiple undo, for instance, and fonts and all kinds of crazy things. Microsoft, maybe accessories. I'm not. What's the accessories? WordPad, Notepad, WordPad. That's it. But there's nothing with the name WordPad. This is WordPad, and I type right. I see, and that works. And it's not an execute. Now, how did that work? Well, that's magic. There are no executable extensions matching the pattern word. So why does typing WordPad cause? Oh, maybe it's just sort of defined as right. WordPad equals right. It wouldn't be an environment variable, I guess. Just curious. There's a thing called DOSKey, and you can put commands in it. One command equals another. I use it sometimes. I want to get a list of the commands that have been put in here. List size list. Not those commands, but permanent commands. You can make a permanent, like copy for me, for instance. It's permanently set to always overwrite. Make a macro. I never used any of this stuff. It's probably pretty useful. Anyway, not important. I wanted to see the printer thing. Yeah, I wonder where that would be. There's no file menu. Well, that was already in the clipboard. What's this? Page 6. You know what? I think that these were off. And now they're back on for some reason. One of the things I did, which is actually, this is quite interesting. You might note the absence of a certain home groupy type thing that I finally got rid of. I figured out how to get rid of it. And it sort of helped me. It disappeared and came back, and therefore I knew immediately that something is running it. Right? There's a process that's maintaining that icon there. So I went into Process Explorer and I searched around, and eventually I found that something was opening home group service, right? So it's SVC host something or other, meaning it's a service. I found it in the services, and of course I turned it off and it went away. But eventually it came back. So then I just went and permanently turned it off in the services. So if you have that showing up there and you have no use for it, like me, you can turn it off by here. Here's this. I don't even know what a home group is. I don't want it. Whatever it is, I don't want it. So I just disabled it, and that gives me, in terms of vertical space, this network thing isn't a problem because it's at the bottom, right? Once things are expanded, right? Once I've clicked two directories, the only thing I care about is this part and this part, and there's nothing in between now that separates them. That thing took up a distance like from here to here, plus another extra one of those distances. So that is a loss, probably about this much height from Explorer. That's that's like 5% of your space, maybe more. 10 of these would add up to this easy. That's 10% of my space gone because of that one little picture that'll be no use. Alright, I'm going to reboot and we'll see what happens. I have a feeling that it's still going to print out SH fax. Well, now I don't know what to do with those buttons because I'm absolutely sure I saw them disabled before, and now they appear to be enabled. Got rid of the printer, so now everything thinks that it can print. Be right back. Okay. Now I've rebooted and everything seems okay. I almost made a mistake and lost that last bit. If I would have started the recorder, I would have lost. If I had just started the recorder before I started converting the last one to AVI, it would have overwritten it and lost a little bit at the front, if it's used at all. Now, the question is, is that fax thing really gone? That is here. I have two questions. Is the home group going to come back? Whoops. Devices and print. While that's doing its thing, let's see about the home group. No. Perfect. I'm so glad it's gone. You don't know how much I hate that thing, or hated it. Okay, it's the same as it was. Now, what about the program? New test. Still there. Notepad. I swear these were grayed out. By the way, oh dear. This is a release build of my editor thing. Okay. I timed it with respect to Notepad, and it's approximately the same speed, if not faster. And it's funny because I got I kept getting confused with this program and all these explorers. Like, I do save as to see if it's read the encoding right, and then I forget, and I think I'm loading a file. I had a bug that I fixed. Like, here's some other file. This didn't happen before. What? Oh, maybe this has the bug. I'll click on something else. Hey, but of course I can't click anything, right? And that of course it wasn't working because I hadn't extracted the return part of the string first before checking for the existence of the file. But that does bring up a problem that a malformed path was being compared and no assertions or anything went on. So I need a better path. I have a function that says is valid path, but it's not that thorough. Something like this, bracket, and then C : it is not valid, right? You can't have colons. There's only one place you're allowed to put a colon, and that's in the second, as the second character. I don't think you can. You're not allowed to start with a colon. I don't think. I'm too afraid to try it. No, but that definitely it wasn't, and anyway, I was trying to think of some way to generally protect myself against such things. I lost a not that important file, but here's one of the things though about that thing. Remember I was saying, gee, it'd be nice if I could have that Explorer dialogue in here, with all the fancy features, right? And then I was sitting in here and I was thinking, oh wait, I want to look for something. Okay, I know. I don't want to close this, so I'll right click and I'll just send that into my create link thing, because that brings up an Explorer dialog. See? Oh, now I got the Explorer dialog going, and I can do all sorts of things here. I don't have to make the link, right? I can still do other stuff. I'm going to look through here, whatever it was I was thinking about. I think control panel is probably down here somewhere. It's Explorer, right? So I definitely, now I could do the same thing again from here if I wanted. Get a third one going. It's crazy. I think it's how many of these things have I got going? Well, it may be slow because of the encoding. Like, look at this stupidity. Anyway, uh, now I don't know what to do. I know how to make them gray, but now I don't know when to make them gray because I don't have an example. As far as opening and closing and all that stuff, there's nothing to it. All night I was just tired and I wasn't doing anything. And every now and again I would add a little piece onto it. Like, all right, I'll just do UTF-8 or something. Right? Just get that done, and eventually, incrementally, it all got done without any effort. I mean, nothing to do almost. No, why not? It is remembering. Okay. Sometimes, if this crashes or something, and you start it up again, it doesn't return you to where you were. But I know it's going to because I can see the status bar. Certain kinds of clues that you can pick up, as you learn these modern operating systems, how to tell what the system might be doing. It's like a kind of, how dogs have a sort of an extra sense, like so they can smell or hear sounds that other people can't hear because they've developed, they've developed cues in their brains, I guess, that they can pick up on. Subtle things like this little green thing here tells me that I don't need to do anything. It's really, it's like Zen and the art of motorcycle maintenance. There's a Zen of computer, a level of extrasensory perception involved in that. Oh, there it is. See, just as predicted. Yeah. No. Now, one thing that's difficult to predict is how to get rid of this thing. There's a definite way to get rid of it, but to make it do its auto thing is something else. The additions. Here's the function I wrote. Write text to file. Okay. And it takes a pointer to file, a buffer that has the text in it, and this is just a type def for text encoding. See, text encoding. It kind of looks like latex, but it's got an E. I thought that was cute. It's got a nice look to it, I think. Now, in the Unicode world, in the non-Unicode world, you can only do ANSI because the edit control itself won't have wide characters in it. So in the non-ANSI world, we have the possibility of special characters. There might be other encodings and so on. Now the encoding for saving is being passed in, came from that dialog. I run the dialog, and I select. The user selects what type of encoding they want. I haven't tried the big endian, but it should work. In fact, I thought I was running Notepad at one point because they look so similar. And I was using the program to see what was supposed to happen before I went ahead and tested it, and not realizing that I was actually testing it. Okay. Let's open a file. some sort. I think I pressed Control Open. Okay, the universe is being brought back into existence as we speak, as the dialogue reemerges. Now, if it had been the save, you saw how quick that save dialogue came up. But this will be fast from now on. Everything's loaded up. Now, here's a file that I just made. This is a good example. Now, I generated. This is the wrong one. Not all progs. The walk. All progs doesn't have the paths. I wanted to see the paths using my new F file find batch file. Everything that's executable in the system according to the rules is listed in this list. It's quite long. Now this is, if I do save as, it should be ANSI. See? Now suppose I put this is one feature that Notepad has that I wanted to add. I put one of these characters in here. Now this is not an ANSI. There's no, in the ANSI code page, there's nothing that corresponds to this heart. Right? Now if I try to save this as ANSI, right? What I did was first I dropped Notepad into, or I opened Notepad in here, and I stole one of the strings out of their dialogues. This is actually word for word what Notepad says. Oh dear. Okay, well let's say I'm going to overwrite it. No, you didn't hear it, but it made the Notepad sound. This file contains characters in Unicode code format. Blah blah blah. If you can cancel and don't save it and lose the information, or you can click OK, in which case you would lose that extra data. So I can cancel this. And so now it has that feature. It also, you notice, it asked me if I wanted to overwrite that other file, which is good. One of the files is those arrows. This is currently. Now that's Unicode. Okay. Now this here is actually on my C drive. Documents C temp. That's not where. Oh, that is that. I think that is where that arrows came from, isn't it? Yeah, it's C. So that was the directory where this file came from. Okay, so what I want to do is save it as, let's see, I'll choose D and put it in D's temp, which also has an arrows. Let's call it arrows 1. And instead of Unicode, we'll take UTF-8. Okay. Now I can exit this, run it again, so everything's cleared out. First off, we can check in temp. I don't know if that other one was Unicode or UTF-8 already. If they're about the same size, then oh yeah, they're both. Okay, well that's a good thing. So here they are now. These should be identical. I think I took them from the same file. Identical. Alright. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this program And then I convert it. The arrows. No, where's arrows 1? Okay, that's a mistake. Should have said the last one we opened was arrows, but we saved it as a new one and all. Well, anyway, let's still open it. And it's unfortunately going to take us to the last place we opened a file, which is, oh, that's not too far away. 10. Take this arrows 1, which hopefully now it's in the list. And now I'm going to save this. Save as itself, same name, but Unicode. Save. Now, Notepad does this too, so I'm okay with that bug. It shouldn't really, if I'm saving it over itself, right? That's just like pressing Control F. Alright, so I exit this. Now, usually you have to exit to let it flash out. Now, you see how much bigger it is? Because it's in Unicode format, everything's 2 bytes. So, because it has mainly non-Unicode characters, it's smaller in UTF format. That wouldn't be true of all those wacky characters. So now, if I open this again and I convert it back to Unicode, it should be identical once again to the original. And if it is, then that's working perfectly. At least as far as that conversion goes. So it's currently in Unicode. Yeah, I want to go back to UTF-8 and see if it's going to be the same as arrows with no 1. Yes. They're the same size. Almost. It looks the same. When different in blanks. Okay, so there is a slight. I probably had 1 extra character return at the end or something. Where's the difference? I don't know if that blue indicates it. Or maybe it's this. It doesn't show, unfortunately it won't show me where the difference is. How many characters? I bet it's 1 character bigger or smaller. Can I get a little more resolution on this number? Size 40300. .303. So arrows 1 lost 3 bytes. That makes me think that I probably made a mistake. Something to do with forgetting about the fact that it has the 3 byte header. Let's see. Arrows 1 has more. Mine is smaller, right? Or bigger? Smaller. And I lost 3. I probably subtracted 3 more. Not important. It should be easy to fix that. As for the code, here's the code. If it's ANSI, well, first off, I wanted to add a function to check for non-ANSI characters, like a Unicode character, so that I could bring up that message. Now, one way, there's a thing that converts from, I'm already in multi-byte, wide characters, so I need to convert to multi-byte to copy, right? And one way to find out if there are any Unicode or non-matched characters is to set this flag, no best fit characters. That means it doesn't try to find something nearly like the one that didn't match. Instead, it's going to put a question mark or something. That's not going to tell you anything, but the thing is you can put a flag here and a pointer to a bool, and it'll fill it in if it had to do any replacing, if it didn't find something that matched on the code page. So for instance, you could do that, right? Just during this part, during the save. But if it's a big file like that, especially like that thing I keep opening, long enough to open that, it'd be faster to walk through it once it's in memory, but it wouldn't take that long before you hit one of these things, and I don't want to have to go through the entire process of converting the text, and then, and then abort the whole operation. So instead, I've added a function that does that conversion in chunks. I chose 1024 because it's a pretty fast function, and you'll probably hit the bad one on the first try. So if I just go back, I don't know, I haven't tried this yet. If it's a new file, and I type this, save as, okay, I don't know what that is. Not valid. That's true. We don't have a file, so we don't have an encoding. I wonder what happens if I let it run. And I just not run? It started the dialogue, I see. Alright, so this has got to default to something. Now if I not use this in here, I should get the thing. Okay, that's good. That's what it's supposed to do. That's what Notepad does. Okay, nearly there. That should prompt. Back to that. So all the preliminaries are almost done. It asks the right question at the right time. And then it's just a matter of writing out a string. Once you decided you've committed yourself to doing it. If it's ANSI, then we may lose some things, but that decision's been made already. The user's been asked, and we're going to put question marks. We don't need to check for flags, and we're writing it out as a multi-byte string. Now, if Unicode or big endian Unicode has been selected, it's a matter of, again, are we in an opposite endian situation or a same endian? Which in the first case we can just write everything out in one go. In the second case we've got to flip everything. So if my machine is little endian and the encoding asks for is regular Unicode, which is little endian, or if my machine is big endian and big endian is asked for, then It's just a matter of a straight up right. Doesn't matter what the actual order is. So I'm writing out the Unicode byte order marker first, and then just the text. There's a full length of the remainder of the text. There's my bug, I think. No, that's not the bug. Because this text doesn't have any byte order marker in it. That just came from the edit control. Now, otherwise, the other situation is just the opposite of that. If I'm little and we want big, or if I'm big and we want little, we're gonna flip. And it's just, instead of being able to do it in one step, we have to go byte by byte and flip. Otherwise, it might be UTF-8. UTF-8 is to process UTF-8 printing. All one does is write this function, which I had done in the past. And maybe I can throw this. This is a good one for the reference. This one and the other. Encode and decode UTF-8. Very simple function. And it works like this for writing, for encoding. I'm going from 0 to length minus, that's the bug then. That's the bug. Yeah. Because just as up here, and this is a bug too. I should go to the entire, what is length here? Length is the length of the buffer, yeah. I shouldn't be, it's just length. There shouldn't be any minus anything. These additions are additions that I'm providing, but I still have that, as many characters as was given. And so I've forgotten to, well, I just didn't realize what I was doing. Call it stupidity, or retardation, or old age, or whatever you want. So we loop through, and on each, remember, our things are wide characters, and they can be anything. And we're converting this into a multi-byte format, which is what UTF-8 is, multi-byte, single characters. And now a character, a 2-byte character, a wide card, because of the way this scheme works, can use either 1, 2, or 3 bytes to represent it. So I think everything less than 7F is just a byte. And then from 7F to some other number, it's 2 bytes, and then it's 3. So what this thing returns to you is how many bytes it has copied into this buffer that you passed in. It only accepts an array with exactly 3 elements, so you can't make a mistake with this part. And this is just a character. So it told us we have received in our buffer this many bytes. So now let's write them to the file. I know it's difficult. So we received 3 bytes, and therefore we write 3 bytes into the file from our buffer. It's almost as difficult as the other one. This loop. Yeah. Now I haven't tried it, but who knows? Maybe this will work. Well, I'm going to take something and I'm going to convert it to big endian, just for fun. So that means it should be byte reverse, and it'll have its byte order markers. But we should still be able to open it up and view it. And so should Notepad and everything else. So we'll see what happens. First, let me just quickly verify that as quickly as I can. Hang on. It's over here. Just a minute. It's amazing how much processor time that thing uses. No. First, I go back to C, or this is the temp we want, right? I'm going to open this one and save it over top of this one. And then they should be the same. Same encoding, same different name. Alright. Now I'm going to verify that they're the same. Identical. Now I'm going to do what I did before. I'm going to open this one up. I'm going to convert it to Unicode. I'll do the top one because I don't have to scroll down as much. I'm going to convert this to Unicode. Well, it actually doesn't matter, does it? I just have to do save as, and I can put it on top of this one or on top of the other one. This is easier. Unicode. Save. Overwrite. Yes. Close the program. It takes a while for the flushing to occur, unless you close the program, then it flushes out immediately. Okay, so now that's bigger as before. Now if I run this, I'm going to try again to convert it back, it's this one, back to UTF-8. It should come up Unicode, it did. UTF-8, say, overwrite, yes. Now, the crucial question. Is the bug fixed? Was that it? I think it is. Well, had to be. Identical. Perfect. Now. Well, no, I can't. I could associate a file type with this program and make it easier. But anyway. I'm going to take that same file, the arrows. Wait a minute, what was... How come this was a... Oh, I see what's happening. Okay, it has to do with... The problem has to do with the way I manage this list by removing something, and then the expectation is that it's going to get added back in, right? When you use the recent file list. So it's sort of a trick, or a hack, I guess you could call it. If the file doesn't exist, right, then automatically it disappears from the list, because I remove it from the list. And every time I load something up, I add the thing I loaded up to the list, right? But if that thing changes when I do the save as, I load up a new name into the list, and I delete another name from the list, And so an additional name is missing. We have the same number of names, but one is gone. Arrows 1 is gone. So I'm going to use this if we want to get it. But these kinds of things are easy to fix. See, now arrows 1 is in there, and it would have tried to delete arrows 1 before the file load, and after the file load is successful, it would put it back. Now I'm going to take this file, arrows 1, and I want to save it in the big endian format. And I'll call that arrows 2. New file. It shouldn't ask any questions. Just go ahead and do it. Exit. That's not the one. So here's arrows 2. So you would expect it to be the same size as the Unicode version. Let's see what Notepad thinks of arrows 2. Has no problem with it. What if I try save as? It should take as the default big endian Unicode, and that's what it's saying. Now my program should do the same thing, except I can't double click. Arrows. Now I don't have it here because of that bug, but that's okay. Looks like that's my next priority. Open. It worked. I mean, this would all be Chinese right now if it didn't read the byte order incorrectly. And when I do save as, big endian, this doesn't fit. See? You see, for all of that streamy stuff with its thing, like using the text mode for text, it's not that hard to implement it, right? But the thing about the text mode is it's got all kinds of other things that you don't want. One thing is, for one thing, it removes carriage returns, right? So that would be great if you're working in Linux or Unix or something that doesn't use those. But this edit box needs carriage return and a line feed for each line, or else it would just be flat. It wouldn't. The carriage return just doesn't do anything without the line feed. It just looks like everything's glued together. Now let me just see if now I want to convert this big endian arrows 2 back to good old UTF-8. Now I have a file type conversion program. You see, here it is. And now, just in fiddling around with the file and save and whatnot, I have the means to change things from one format to another, and that's good and handy, and it was easy to implement, and we don't have any problems with end of line character. Anyway, that's all been pretty long, and I'll let you look at this image for a bit, and I've got to eat something. It's a bit past my breakfast. No, it's not too late. All right. See you next time. I'll add some more things. What did we find out? But there's a whole bunch of other dialogues that come in that common dialogue DLL, and so I'm going to play with those and see what happens. See ya.